The number of coronavirus cases still on the rise in Indiana, with Marion County still assessing the reopening process. The state still dealing with the impact on the workplace and the economy. This week I spoke with State Treasurer and candidate for Congress, Kelly Mitchell.
Want to ask you about the financial impact of this coronavirus crisis, both from your perspective as state treasurer and as someone who's running for Congress. There's been quite a debate about the kind of assistance the federal government might have to provide to the states. Mitch McConnell had said he's not sure about bailing out the states, but there are a lot of states that may need financial assistance. Indiana perhaps has more reserves than most, but certainly our budget will be stretched thin. Where do you stand on that debate over the federal government providing assistance to the states as the economic impact of this crisis continues to unfold?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And as you just said, the economic impact is indeed still unfolding. We don't know the depth and breadth of it yet. There has been a lot of help in the previous legislation, federal legislation. My office has received $2.4 billion, I believe, from the federal government, from the Coronavirus Relief Act. That is meant for COVID-related expenses. So above and beyond budgeted expenses that an entity might have incurred costs that this is what that money is meant to cover. So that is beginning to be dispersed. I am in many conversations every week with treasurers nationwide as we all work together in this unprecedented time. And indeed, Indiana came into this in a much better fiscal position than many states have. And, as treasurer, as chief investment officer of the state, I'm really proud to have been a part of the reason we have a over $2 billion surplus and a balanced budget. We will certainly weather this better than some.
But how badly will this affect our state's budget and our reserves?
And I think, again, we don't know the answer to that yet. It depends on what the federal government does. They are talking about future help. One thing that hasn't been addressed is lost revenue. So while the money that has been sent to the states is to cover COVID-related expenses, it is not meant to cover revenue lost because of the coronavirus. So that remains to be seen, and those numbers we won't know for some time.
What is the impact of a crisis like this in terms of candidates getting attention, getting the financial resources they need for a campaign?
Yeah, I am really proud. My campaign has led in donations from individuals every quarter that I've been in this race. And we, by far, have exceeded others in raising money.
In terms of campaign contributions from individuals.
Exactly. And so that is wonderful. That is, to me, speaks to a tremendous amount of support for this race.
Mitchell, though, is fifth among Republicans when it comes to cash on hand after the first quarter filings. Victoria Spartz leading the way after a personal loan. She is facing some scrutiny, though, this week, as we'll discuss with our panel later. Carl Brizzi also facing some questions about his taxes. I spoke with him one-on-one this week about the race and about this current health crisis. Are you concerned about how this primary will go procedurally in terms of turnout, in terms of safety in the midst of this crisis?
Well, obviously, safety is the number one priority, and I do appreciate the efforts that are being made at sending out absentee ballots in Marion County, and I know that that the mail-in count, the request count, has been, relatively high. So we'll see now with early voting, and then on June 2nd, what the actual primary turnout numbers will be.
You have a new ad out here in recent weeks talking about your candidacy, also talking about this crisis and China's role in all of this. What do you want to see Congress do in terms of our relationship with China moving forward?
Well, look, there's no question, right, that China lied about this virus. There can be all sorts of debate about where and how it originated, but we do know this, that once the Chinese government knew that this virus was a problem, they sat on it. And then after they sat on it, they spread misinformation and disinformation, blamed the United States, blaming President Trump China needs to be held accountable. And that's going to be one of the first things that I do if I get to Congress.
On another topic, you were called out in a recent mailer from the Club for Growth, which suggested that you and your wife had been delinquent on your taxes. What's your response to that mailer that went out there in the district?
Yeah, so those folks endorsed Victoria Spartz. That's the anti-Trump guru. And they're being critical of me for disagreeing with the IRS in terms of how much money I owe them. My wife and I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes for that year, and we're fighting over what amount we owe, and we think the amount is different than the amount they think. We've been fighting them for 4 years, and look, I mean, I work hard for my money, and I'm not going to pay any more than I'm legally obligated to do.
People don't often win disagreements with the IRS. Are you concerned this will be a lasting issue here for you or your campaign?
Well, it's been going on for almost 4 years, so you're right. But look, I'm a fighter, and again, I pay hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to the government, and a lot of that money is squandered. And so, to the extent that I have the ability to fight them, I'm going to.
This race starting to get interesting. Coming up next this Sunday in Focus, a candidate for governor picks his running mate, but that process is also raising a lot of questions about his campaign. We'll talk about that with our panel next.